When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I...
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly. And you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
All right. Guess what, guys? It's my birthday month.
We need a song. What was the one you were just singing?
That's like always like my theme music that's going through my head all the time. So
we were not recording yet, but Kelly was checking her microphone and made up her own song.
Yeah.
She was checking it. Turns out it works. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, that's really all I've got going on. I'm pretty excited. My birthday is always, I celebrate all month, so definitely excited to be getting into that. Can't wait to get my birthday tattoo. Since I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing my budgeting so that I can get see what tattoos I can get each month. So I started off the year being like, okay, I'm going to get a tattoo a month. Yeah, and so I got a tattoo in January. I ended up getting 2 in February. And so I was sitting there, I was like, maybe I should get 3 in March. And Dante's like, you're not just going to keep getting one more.
What's going to happen when we hit December? And that's after November of 11.
Right? I'm going to be completely tattooed out by the end of the year, guys.
That seems unrealistic.
Arms and legs, probably on my back too.
The little dots, the filler dots might count as like the 12 and 11.
That's true. If you counted each like filler session I go in to do, that might help. But no, I'm not going to do that. But I might get 3 in my birthday month just because it's my birthday month. So we'll see. But other than that, I was talking to my brother. So it's me and my brother and my other brother, Hunter, which was our first adoption that my family had. He is the one that my mom and dad started over with when I was 18 and graduating high school. They started over with a 2-year-old and they adopted Hunter. Okay. And so he's been with us the longest. And he is now, I believe, 19. So he's in the age the fun age where he can get into trouble with us.
Yes, I love that age.
It's really fun. So it's me and Hunter and my brother. His name is Daniel, but I call him
That's
Casey.
When cousins at reunions start going on cousin walks.
Yeah.
We're going for a walk.
We do that. Well, not yet, not with him.
I don't know if y'all's walks are the same thing as my family's walks.
My walk is. So then, and then my brother's wife, which was my best friend, she's still one of my best friends. We all have a group chat that I allow because they don't talk that much, so they're not that bad. And so they were talking about doing a sibling sleepover. And I was like, we should do that for our birthday month because my brother's birthday is in March as well. His is a week.
So it's y'all's birthday month, as in it's all the siblings if it's 2 of y'all.
Yeah. Everybody celebrates.
I don't understand why that's not weird.
And so we're like, okay, deciding on a date. And Annie comes in. She's like, can I go too? And we're like, yeah, duh. And Hunter was like, yeah, you can be an honorary sibling. And my brother's like, she is a legal sibling. She's your sister-in-law. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, there's that too.
Oh, yeah.
But then I said, no, she's my sister in love. So, yeah, we're going to we have that coming up. We're going to do a little, sibling birthday slumber party kind of thing.
Yeah,
so,
that's fun.
That's going to be fun. But that's really all I got going on right now is just being excited that I get to celebrate all month.
Well, speaking of birthdays, with my youngest son, Zol's 17th birthday this week on Friday. So I only have 1 more year of a child underage, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've been doing this for 26 and a half years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So that is a long time.
You served your time.
Yeah, and he's all grown up now and everything. And so what he wanted to do for his birthday was he wanted to go to Dallas to go get good food, like good Chinese food. Because, I love Waxahachie, but there's no good Chinese food here.
Really?
So I was like, let's go. So we go to this place in Dallas, and it's the same place I go with Mary. Like, it's a cool place. And we have a great time. It's technically Oak Cliff, I guess, and it's on the other side of the Trinity in the Oak Cliff side. If you're from the DFW area, you know what I'm talking about. But they have gentrified the hell out of it. So that's where their dad's family's from. So like 4 blocks from where we went to eat lunch, which was delicious, is their great granny's house, whom I knew. So we went did a little drive by. I showed them where their great granny and their dad's house lived, and then we went shopping at these antique shops. And this is crazy, and this is a typical Zeta situation. Okay, I used to have an antique booth in a local antique shop. Waxahachie's kind of known for antiques. And my mom was an antique dealer. So she usually had a booth or a shop or something going on. Or she never did the online thing because she passed away before Facebook stuff happened, really. Mm-hmm. So, but, my whole time I was growing up, she needed extra money. She was selling antiques. She was flipping them. And so she'd making junk into treasure, which she had a really good eye. So she actually could just find really good stuff. And so I do the same thing. I will flip furniture. I'll flip antiques like my mom taught me well. And Waxahachie's a great location for that, or it used to be. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say it's not anymore. It's not Dallas prices, but it's not old Waxahachie prices anymore either. And so you're not getting a hell of a deal, but you're not overpaying either.
Yeah.
And so I bought this painting back when I think even before I had my shop. I bought this painting, 10, 12 years ago. And I was making like an ornate wall in my house, like I was decorating, and it was kind of ornate. It had gold in it, and it was like it was some kind of religious painting. And so I was like, this is cool looking. I don't know what it is. It looks antique, and it's different, and it's kind of gothic. I would call it like a gothic look, but it was a true antique. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay. So I buy it. I have it in my house for a while. No one's a fan. Everyone's like, there's a bad aura with this painting, and we don't like it. Like, none of the kids liked it. My friends would come home and be like, it's really cool looking, but there's something wrong with it. So I was like, yeah, and I trust that because, if you've ever dealt with antiques, they do have attached emotions sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, cool, we're going to get rid of the painting. So I sold it in my booth that I had at the time. And I want to say I sold it for probably $50-ish, maybe $75, but not a ton of money. I might add I paid $10 for it.
Okay, yeah. So you got a little upsale there.
I did, and I bought it. Where I bought it was like it was a resale shop. It wasn't a antique shop. It was just like a junk store. Mm-hmm. And it was behind a bunch of like pictures and paintings that were worth like nothing. Like the frame was worth more. And I saw it, and I was like, this is a badass picture. It's a good frame, but it's even better picture. And it was a really cool picture, but it just didn't fit with the look of my house. And so I sold it. And so after we have lunch, we go to these stores. And these are on Riverside Drive in Dallas, and right across the Trinity River from where we ate lunch. And it also happens to be the store that I found my boots in. So I'm going to tell the boot story quickly because not everybody's an OG listener. I know I've told the story before, but I have my boots that God gave me. And I was going through a really, really rough time. I wish I could tell you which episode it's on, but I can't. But at one point, I tell the stories about the boots that God gave me when I really needed a new pair of boots and I needed a certain type of boot. And I had my heart set on it, but I was a single mom and I didn't have any money. And I just definitely not for some boots. I had a really, really rough 24 hours, like the worst you can imagine. And somehow at the end of the day, I end up in this little shop with some boots that cost exactly the amount of money I have in my pocket. And I'm not getting any more for a week and I'm going to need it. And they're super cheap. They're like less than $100. I'm a single mom. I'm broke. But they're the boots I'm looking for. Anyways, I end up with the boots. Everything works out. I get the boots God sent me. I wear them on. How often do I wear these boots? I have 2 pair of them now. Rick loves me so much that after I started dating him, he realized how much I love these boots that he tracked down a second pair for me. They're Dan Post boots, Sidewinder, if you want to look it up. In the, I think it's called Cattleman Brown. It's the rustic brown. Anyways, I love these damn boots. I don't go to the store. That was the first time I'd ever been to the store. I've probably been to it twice since, and that was probably 13 years ago. I got the original boots. And we walk in there, and I find that fucking painting.
It's come back to haunt
It's hanging on the wall. And this is not a print. This is a one-of-a-kind painting, and it has a sticker on the back. And on the back, it has the original sticker from the original print telling you where it was made and has information on it. But there's also a small piece of my sticker from my booth. Wow. It is my painting. And they're selling it for $250. Which go them. but it's literally 15 feet from where I found the boots God gave me.
Wow.
And you know the story. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean by the boots. If anyone's heard the story, they realize this is not just a blow-off story. To this day, I refer to those boots as the boots God gave me. And isn't that weird?
Yeah,
there's something going on in that booth, something in that store. Like there's some kind of. My mom was an antique dealer, and all I can think is she must have had a connection to this place, and I didn't know it because she was a dealer when we lived in Dallas, and I wasn't there a lot when she was doing it. I was a teenager, so I was doing my own thing. I'd go help her here and there. And I knew where a few of her booths were, but I didn't know where they all were. I don't know if they were there. I don't know what, but I'm telling you, there is something there.
Yeah, there's some connection.
And then, so that was yesterday. So today, Rick and I are cleaning house. It's our, we usually pick a weekend day and we get to it. I do more of it than he does, but he does the upstairs. That's our bedroom. Mm-hmm. The only thing upstairs is our bedroom and bathroom, and he takes care of it as long as I just maintain my life and I don't leave him a mess. He's just like, sweeping, mopping, dusting, whatever.
Yeah.
The bathroom. So I'm cleaning downstairs. He's cleaning upstairs. I come upstairs to grab something, and he goes, what is this? What is this voodoo shit over here? What do you have going on over here? What's going on over here? There's something going on. What are you talking about? He goes, what's in these boxes? What is this? I'm like, what boxes are you talking about? What do you mean? These boxes over here, what the fuck is this? He's like rattled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and he points to this little end table. Okay, so it's an end table that you normally have to move when you sneak into my house that one window.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, the one that has a picture of my mom on it when she's a kid. There's 3 little boxes in front of it, and they're all shaped slightly different. One's like a little square, one's like a little octagon, and the other one, I don't know what you'd call the shape, diamond-ish. And they're real ornate, and they have gold on them and a little lock. They look like miniature little, like, something you'd buy at like the Renaissance fair. Mm-hmm. And then inside of them, one of them has like a little ball that has gold flakes in it. One of them has like a little, like a metal looking thing. And the other one has what looks like, I don't know what what you would even say it looks like. Bark, I guess. And what is this? What is going on with this? And I'm like, well, my mom died beginning in December. That Christmas, she was very sick, but she was well enough to try to shop, and she did a lot of it like telling people what to buy. And because she couldn't shop, she was in a rehabilitation center for her health problems. And and she always got me something Christmas to decorate with. So every year I got a small holiday gift. Every holiday I'd get like maybe a ceramic ghost for Halloween or a ceramic heart for Valentine's, whatever. And this was this year's holiday thing. And it was the frankincense, myrrh, and gold.
From the
Three Wise Men. Yeah. And it was the box.
That's where I was going in my head.
And so I told him that, and he goes, oh. Well, I go, yeah. And he goes, who's this? And it's the picture of my mom. And she's probably 11 in the picture, but she's dressed really fancy and her hair's really fancy. It's like a typical like 1950s fancy child's photo for someone like a debutante ball type thing, because I think she was doing something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's my mom. That's the last gift she gave me before she died. And he was like, I'm telling you, I'm like that chick on Sally Jeffrey Raphael. That median. I can feel it. I knew it. I said, you were trying to make it evil. No, I just knew something different was going on.
Something was up.
Yeah, that was right before I got here, by the way. This was part of our, yeah. So engagement life is going great.
Yeah,
the other catching up part that's really funny is I don't know if funny is the right words, but is the amount of messages from listeners, because the episode of me announcing the engagement got quite the attention.
Yeah, it did.
And you would have, I keep laughing because keep thinking people are like, we didn't think it was really going to happen. We thought he was full of shit. That's, yeah. And I've had quite the reaction. But I've gotten more messages from listeners than people I know in real life. And the listeners are hilarious. And I think like we've been exposed to new people that didn't listen before. And so now they're like, and they might have listened to me on the other podcast. So like they kind of knew me, but they didn't know me.
Yeah.
And so the messages I've gotten have been so like sweet and heartwarming. And I normally try to read messages, but there's honestly just too many of them to read them. But they're just, it's funny to see what people really like. They really find funny the messages about me talking about menopause, and Rick in particular. He's a hit, apparently, this asshole.
Should have known.
I know. He was like, when am I going to start getting paid for all this? And this is, I didn't tell you the last one. I said, remind me to tell you the story I forgot. The story I forgot in the last episode. So we go to Rick's brother's birthday dinner, and our listener is there, which is a friend of Rick and his brother. He grew up in the same neighborhood they did in Lancaster, and his name is David. And he's always listened, and he sent me a message or two, and like I've told Rick, hey, your friend David listens to the podcast. And Rick doesn't listen.
No.
Because he's like, I don't want you to feel like you have to watch what you say, and I don't want to get mad about something stupid I shouldn't get mad about because you're just like doing the entertainment version.
That's smart.
Yeah, and so he just doesn't listen to it, but David does. So then David at the table is like, oh my God, I listened to the podcast, and how's it going? And so there's other people at the table that I don't know, and it's some women, and they're like, wait, there's a podcast? And one was like, I think I know your name. Now that you think of it, it was really, Rick was like, shut up, y'all just...
Don't play into this, please.
Do not do that.
Her head's big enough.
I must be the star of every show. Bless his heart.
That's so funny that we had more listeners there that you didn't even know.
I was like, who needs a sticker?
I got stickers for everybody.
I got stickers for everybody. He was like, you already mailed me one. Because he was one of our ones that we mailed him to.
You're welcome.
So hi, David. He's very successful. I don't know if he has a girlfriend, but if anyone needs a date, I know he's not married.
There you go.
He seems like a great catch, I'm just saying. Yeah.
I had another little thing that I just thought was kind of cute, and so I kind of wanted to share it. So one of my brothers, which he isn't technically my brother, we were fostering him. His name is Braden, but he ended up getting adopted by a family.
Oh, okay.
While he was, with us, he got placed with a family, got adopted. He loves his new family, and it's like they were literally godsends. Like they work so well because he's kind of has a little bit of a quirky personality, and he's very artistic and very, just out there, and they just and they have been wanting a child for a really long time.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to find people who are going to take on teenagers because he's a teenager. And so it was awesome, and he absolutely loves his family. Well, he had started dating, which this is just an interesting little love scenario here. He was dating my cousin McKenna. They started dating after he got adopted by another family.
Yeah.
They kind of told
McKenna, the one we went to Six Flags with?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Yes, and she's the one I went and got tattoos with.
Okay, I thought so.
Tattoo.
Okay.
So they had been dating for a while because they kind of liked each other anyways, but once he got out, it wasn't technically he wasn't really in the
once they weren't related to each other,
quote unquote related. So they started dating. Well, apparently it didn't end very well.
Oh no.
With teenage love and everything like that. Yeah. So I'm in bed, I wasn't asleep yet, but it was like 11:30 or whatever. So I get this message, but I don't have the number saved. But it's Braden. He's like, "Hey, this is Braden. I really need to talk." And I wasn't even able to reply, text message reply, before he was calling me. So I was just like, okay. So I get on the phone with him, and he's just, kind of heartbroken and, doesn't know what to do. And so I sit there and I talk to him for a while, and I kind of not that he was on the edge or anything, but I kind of talked him down and, gave him a little bit of advice. I was like, I don't know how great this is, but I understand, you're in the worst of it right now. It hurts the worst right now.
And how old is he? 19, 18?
I think he's somewhere around there. I think he's 17.
Okay.
I don't know, 16 or 17. So, and I was like, it hurts the worst right now because, it's fresh, and she's probably doing and saying things that are hurting your feelings, and you don't know, you want to be her friend, and you're trying to, take the high road, but it's hard when people are, because she's kind of he said that she was saying some things that weren't true and kind of getting people on her side or whatever. I was like, you just have to kind of ride this out. You need to distance yourself. You need to take time for yourself.
No.
Pour yourself into your things that make you feel good, like your art, and he writes poetry and this kind of stuff. I was like, focus on things that are going to make you feel good to get past this initial first hurt, okay? And then I was like, if she's saying things that aren't true, just let her say it. I said, don't fight with her. That's only going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Truth will come out. Your friends
and
will realize.
At that age, everybody forgets very quickly.
Yeah. And that's what I was like, it feels daunting right now, but you just have to get past this part. And so at the end of it, he was like very thankful and he was telling me how, he was wanting to talk to, a couple different people, but they just kind of just didn't make the time for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, look, you're always going to be my brother. I was like, it doesn't matter. I was like, even though you were only with us for a short amount of time, I love you and I care about you. Yeah. And I might not always be able to be here for you, but whenever I can, I'm going to be.
Yeah.
So don't ever feel like you don't have somebody that you can talk to. Even if I don't pick up the phone, just let me know what's going on and I'll try to get back to you.
Isn't that heartbreaking how many kids don't have somebody like that?
I know. But the thing was, even in my head, when he first sent that message, I thought, because I knew what it was. It's like teenage drama.
Yes.
You don't really want to have to deal with it. But when I was that age, I had times that I really needed somebody to talk to, even though I knew, but I felt like I was small and insignificant. And I don't want him to feel that way. Even though I don't really want to have to deal with teenage drama, it makes a big impact on somebody when you will give them that time. Yeah. A little bit of time. And even if you don't.
And small drama like that is something you remember and you use as a coping mechanism 10 years later.
Yeah.
So things that happened to you when you were a teenager, like you often discuss the relationship you had as a teenager and what it did to you. Mm-hmm. It still plays in your head. Yeah. It still affects how you feel. Mm-hmm. It's still like
especially with him, because he's at the age where, especially the male brain, that's still developing. Yeah. You're still developing your personality and your coping skills and your relationship skills. All of that is being built right then. So even though to adults it seems very, that's just so stupid, it's not stupid to them. It's their whole world. It's their whole personality. Everything is crashing down around them. And when they are needing that lifeline, it might seem insignificant to you, but a lifeline is never insignificant.
I agree, yeah.
It's not. So whenever you're able to be there and able to listen to the gossip or the drama, just take the time to do it, because it was like a 20-minute conversation. And I was in bed and ready to go to sleep, but that I don't know how significant that was to him. Yeah. I'll never know if that really helped him out in that time. I hope it did, but I would rather take that time and do that. I felt really good.
Well, it couldn't have hurt it.
Yeah, I felt really good after it. I was like, I'm so glad I didn't just blow him off because it was late and I didn't want to have to deal with it. Yeah. So
it was funny because yesterday when we had our little birthday thing with Zol and Zoe and I, and Zol was, he recently has had some issues with one of his medications. He's autistic, but he's very high functioning, and he's not on anything that's like a controlled substance, so nothing too powerful. And but one of them is creating some issues with his pulse, so he's off of it right now. They did offer to put him back on it. He chose not to, and I've always let my kids decide what medications they want to take. And if something makes them not want to take it, then that's their body and they get a choice. Mm-hmm. So he said, let me just see what happens not on the medication for a while. So it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks now he's been off medication. And I do notice some things differently. But yes, one of the things I've noticed, it's a mood stabilizer he takes. So yesterday he's like overthinking everything. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he was discussing was when he was a kid, and he just made things sound harder than they were. Mm-hmm. And so Zoe's there, who was with him and older and experiencing it in real time as an adult. Zoe's like, no, you were spoiled. I mean, mom was single, but you never struggled. You always got what you wanted. We all did. And it was funny to see what a difference mental health can make, because typical Zoe wouldn't say that. Yeah. But he's overthinking or whatever the case is. But then she would give him examples. Remember this, remember this, remember this. He was like, oh yeah, that's good. That's all real good, And so
why didn't I think of that?
But sometimes I think you go down a rabbit hole and you want to be upset, or maybe you don't want to be upset, but all you can think of you just go down a rabbit hole.
Your brain will do that to you.
Plays tricks on you.
That's one of the reasons that people listen to sad music when they're sad. Yeah. That really, does it help or does it not help? I don't know.
Yeah. My kids have said before that their dad doesn't listen to the music he used to listen to, and I don't listen to all the music I used to listen to, and they think it's weird. So my kids associate us with different kinds of music. They associate their dad with the music that we listened to when we were married and before we were married, which was primarily 80s, like the Smiths, the Cure, Depeche Mode, Echo and the Bunnymen, you'd call it alternative, I guess now. And But I was raised on country. So like I always had two sides to everything. I was raised on country. That's what my background is. But I always enjoyed that music. I really did. As a teenager, I totally loved it. In the middle of teenage angst, that's where you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as I grew older, it's not me. I want to be happy. And even the sad music I listen to, I sprinkle in a lot of fun country with it. But I primarily listen to country. And so my kids associate me with country because my background, my family, everything screams country, and his screams city, and that's what he listened to. But he had to like sit him down and say, because they are bothered he listens to country now. It bothers them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They think it's weird.
You do realize people's music tastes can change,
well,
right?
and honestly, he did listen to country when we were dating and when we were married. It just wasn't his like genre he was raised on. His parents listened to like Elvis. Mine didn't. They listened to the Stones. We had different age groups of parents, but also different types of parents. Mine were wild as hell. They were going to Woodstock and his parents were at church. Like we were completely raised different. Mine were breaking horses and his were like working in the middle of downtown Dallas, like just completely different backgrounds. And so I have to always talk them down. It's okay if your dad listens to country. It's so weird how music and stuff like that, but like this just made me think of teenagers. Like that one conversation is going to make a difference to him, just like that music makes a difference.
Yeah.
And like when I listen to the music from back then, I think about me and my girlfriends at the club or in a car and the way the mall of that era. I don't think of their dad.
Yeah.
He apparently still associates it with me. And so he told the kids, I don't want to listen to the music I listened to when I was married to your mom. I associate it with your mom. So I don't want to listen to it. Fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
But it's weird to them because it's the same music I listen to. And they think that we don't make any sense together now, so they don't want us listening to the same music now. Isn't that funny? Yeah. What I'm saying is the teenage brain does some weird shit.
It sure does.
So,
I'm so
welcome.
glad I'm out of that.
That was the longest way to explain that.
You're welcome.
What else do y'all expect? Hey, fuck, I never said I was a therapist. Now, this is what it's like sitting at the table.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're caught up. Got anything else?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so today's topic is responding versus reacting. And I heard this a while ago, someone say this, and I thought, this is brilliant.
Yeah, it's a good topic.
It is a good topic because which one gets you in more trouble?
True.
You know, you got to really think about what you're saying before you say it. So if you're responding to something, it means you took the time to think about what was said and to decide if maybe you either need to be in defense mode or if you need to maybe fix what you broke.
Yeah.
I mean, it can mean a few things.
Or if you should even say anything.
Yeah.
Does this even pertain to you in any way?
Should I even respond to this? Whereas reacting means that it doesn't matter what someone just said to you, you're going to react. You're not thinking about it. You're just shooting from the hip. You're pissed. You're emotional. Whatever the case was. And I just thought how important that was. And the first thing that popped in my head when I heard this was that and I've talked about it one other time. I don't know when. I don't know. Sometimes I mix up the podcast, but I'm pretty sure it was this one about when Zoe was little. She never got in trouble. The kid was an angel child, and she had a ring on that I told her not to wear into HEB, and she dropped it in the toilet.
Yeah,
I immediately lost my shit, and that wasn't like me. And it wasn't like her to mess up. So it was totally me just reacting, not responding appropriately. And then it immediately bit me in the ass and I realized I overreacted and I should have responded appropriately. And so that was the first thing that popped in my brain was that moment.
Yeah.
What was it when I mentioned it to you? What was your first thought?
Well, mine, I have a couple different ones because when I think of reacting to things, I'm not usually like a quick reactor. I am the kind of person that I just soak everything up and I mull over it and sometimes I don't even react ever. So, but that's not necessarily a good thing, especially like because I've been taken advantage of because of that, because I'm not a reactor and I don't stand up for myself as much as I should, and I kind of let people get away with things or make let people make me feel uncomfortable when I should be reacting to a situation. So it's not even always a great thing if you don't react, because the reason that we react, it's primal. And sometimes it is to defend ourselves, to protect ourselves. So it's not necessarily always a horrible thing.
Right.
What
a good point.
If the situation calls for it. Like there was a time when I was assaulted and in a public place, and I couldn't even react at the time. In my head, thinking back, I'm like, oh, you think you're going to be prepared for something like that, or what you would do in that kind of situation. Yeah. But I was so just taken aback, and I couldn't even do anything at the time. I'm glad that I was around people who took care of me and made sure that I was, the person was taken care of. But in a situation like that, you should be able to react. You need to be able to protect yourself. You need to be able to protect the people around you if you needed to do that. But when it comes to people like words, like saying mean things or saying hurtful things, I tend to react better when it's not necessarily directed towards me. I can be more of a protector of other people than I can for myself. But when it's things that are directed at me, I'm usually an avoider or a or a responder at a later time. So that's
there's often times you walk away and you're like, damn it.
Yeah, I should have said this, I should have done that. Blah, blah, blah,
but it's really hard to come up with that little, we're not all like, what John Wayne or Clint Eastwood. He's always got a good little comeback,
So there's always that. I mean, and that's why it's not necessarily a bad thing to react, but it's not necessarily a good thing either, because sometimes you say or do things that you can't take back. You might be able to, fix it a little bit, but you can never take things back or, once they're said or done. So,
like I'm sure you've heard this, there's a few analogies, but one of them is that they've taught in elementary schools about when you're teaching people not to bully people. And you're like, okay, well, you can crumple up that piece of paper and then you can flatten it back out. And you still got a flat piece of paper, but it's not the same. It doesn't look the same. It's got damage to it. And it's the same goes with when you say mean things to somebody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can apologize all you want to, but the damage is done. Yeah. The damage is there. And so it's really hard as a parent, to teach your kid to be able to understand when to respond versus when to react, because you don't want them to get bullied, but you don't want them to be mean. And there's a real fine line sometimes.
Yeah.
Because especially even autistic kids, they don't always read body language or sarcasm well. So sometimes kids are joking with them and being friendly with them, and they think they're being mean. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're being mean and they think they're joking. Yeah. And so it's been, for me, responding versus reacting is a social skill I have to teach my kids. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to explain, okay, in this circumstance. You're going to do this. Yeah. And in this circumstance, you're going to do this. And I've been in a relationship where I needed to react and not respond. I needed to put my foot down, and I needed to be aggressive, and I needed to be thrown down the table. And I didn't. Mm-hmm. I held it in and I got run over. And then there's other times in relationships where I've done the opposite. And I feel like it comes down to the ones that make you feel comfortable get run over the most, because you feel comfortable responding and reacting, doing both. And so they're getting both, and it gets kind of confusing. Whereas with some people, you're like, the people that need you to react, not respond, typically get nothing.
Yeah.
They get you shutting down.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I've been shut down. You brought up being assaulted. When I worked at the bar, I had a young guy. I mean, this guy was barely old enough to be drinking. And he was aggressive with me all night. And I'm 35, probably. How old am I now? No, I was younger than that. I was in my 40s. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm in my 40s. This kid's 23. Mm-hmm. And all night long, he is harassing me. And all night long, he is hitting on me and being aggressive with me and touching me. And were you there that night?
I don't think I was.
You'd remember.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. There's no way I was there, because I would have been so mad.
And it wasn't a Thursday night, which is the normal night you would be there. It was a weekend night, which I didn't always work. And all night long, everything out of his mouth is disgusting. And I don't know if he thought he's going to catch himself a cougar, and I had no interest. He had a date with him. He was with a bunch of people, but he had an actual girlfriend with him.
Oh, wow. That's
and so
great.
I'm trying not to embarrass her or to make her uncomfortable, but also I'm old. I'm not trying to embarrass myself either. And so finally I turned, and this is when I was a little cute or old. And so I turned to one of his buddies, two of his buddies, and I'm like, dude, get your guy in check.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Because I can only ignore this for so long. And so again, I wasn't responding or reacting. I guess I was responding because I did tell them, get them in check.
Yeah.
But he wasn't listening. He was not listening. He was belligerent. And I wasn't providing alcohol to him. And so I'd cut him off before I ever served him. And so they're like, yeah, we're sorry. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. I said, listen, he's going to embarrass his girlfriend. That's what's about to happen. You need to stop. You need to stop. And then I'm walking in front of the DJ booth, and this guy comes out of the bathroom, sees me, and just tackles me to the ground. And I used to wear skirts all the time. I'd wear a denim skirt and a long, big, baggy T-shirt with cut off shoulders, whatever, and boots. That was typically what I wore. Made a lot of fucking money dressing that way. And he tackles me to the ground, and my skirts would fit on my hips. I was thinner then, and so they would fit on my hips. So they were kind of short, but they weren't short because they weren't on my waist. But if you're on the ground, they're short. And thankfully, customers saw it and grabbed him and pulled him off of me and took care of it. And for a good 3 days, all I could think of is, what should I have done different?
I know.
Like I did something.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that afterwards effect that happens and you're going back through everything that you should have done so that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
When really it wasn't on you at all in any way. Like you shouldn't have even had to be put in that situation.
And it was all I could think. And then I thought, how do I explain this to Rick?
Oh, man.
Because it's going to get back to him.
Yeah.
And he didn't like me working at the bar. And that's really when I stopped working at the bar as much. And he bought out my contract, if you'd like to call it that, because I would work 3 days a week at the bar. I'd work Thursdays, and then I would work either Friday and Saturday or Friday and Sunday, or Wednesday. I would work one or two more shifts a week. And Rick said, how much do you make on average a week? And a night. And I told him, and I said, but Thursdays are my best night. And he goes, keep Thursdays, quit the other ones. I'll pay you whatever you made. So you don't have to go.
That's a good man.
That is a good man. But that's why he did it was because I got attacked. And he went up there and he had a mouthful for a few people for not protecting me quick enough. And that customers had to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Messed up.
It was messed up. But I did for days question myself.
Yep.
But, what are you going to do?
That's a time where, you have to be able to react. And that's why even now going forward, one of the reasons that it's hard for me to, go out and do things that are good for me and they're good for my mental health. But I struggle with past like PTSD of being hurt and like, what if something were to happen, am I going to be able to protect myself? Because I would have thought, okay, I carry a knife everywhere that I go. I'm always on guard anyways. And something like that can happen. And then I think I'm going to be able to react. But I was completely like deer in headlights.
Yeah.
And that scares me more than actually being attacked, because I'm like, if I'm at a point where there's aren't people that can step in, then what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And I know what's going to happen because worse things have happened to me. So it's just not a fun thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I always I never go out if I'm not with my girlfriends, if I'm not with someone that can protect me.
Yeah.
I don't know all the exits. I go to places I know, and I know the people that work there. So
yeah. And isn't it funny because the whole conversation is about responding versus reacting. But there is a time and place for both.
Yeah, there really is.
And so really, what are the key things to know when you should do one from the other? Because here's where also it goes bad, and this is where the double-edged sword is, and we're all guilty of, is that somebody can react thinking it's appropriate and it not being, and the next thing you know, they're on video viral as Karen.
Yeah.
You got to really pay attention.
And you're seeing it out of context. Like you're only seeing their reaction and you don't even know what initially happened. And maybe that reaction was warranted. Yeah. But we have no idea what actually happened before that to get it to this point. Yeah. And we're just judging the reaction.
Yeah. So really, you got to really think about what you're doing. And we have to really train our girls. Yeah. To think about what they're doing. Yeah. And our boys to understand why girls are the way they are.
Yep.
And I mean, because how many times have you had a conversation with a man where they're shocked by the way that you pay attention to certain things and then you don't? Like I saw a video the other day where this guy was like kind of like saying, look how safe my woman feels when she's with me. She is oblivious. And it's like a video of them walking like through a parking lot. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, la da 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 da. And he's like, in my head, I'm like, is there one to the right? Is there one to the left? That guy's kind of walking funny, da da da. Yeah. But that was what his point was. When I watched it, my point was, that's because she finally can relax.
Yeah. She's finally not worried about
everywhere else she goes. by herself, she has to think, what's over there? What's over there? Who's moving? What am I doing? Where's my hand? Is my key in my hand? Do I have my mace?
Yeah.
Where's my car? How quickly can I get to it? Is anyone under it? Is anyone on the side of it? Mm-hmm. Where's the closest exit door? When I get in my car, I immediately lock my doors so no one can open the other side and get me.
Yep. That's scary.
And so he's looking at it like, oh my God, look how isn't this awesome? Look how oblivious she lives and compared to me. No, motherfucker. No, the rest of her life, she is like that.
Yeah.
And, on the Kitty Craddock show, they do this little thing. I don't know if they do it once a week because, again, I go into work so early that I miss a lot of it. But they do something where they, does that make me crazy? They've done it forever. You know what I'm talking about? Does that make me crazy? And so the other day, I was with Al and Amy, and I was like, I got a good, does that make me crazy? Like, if I could call it in and I wasn't working, I would call it in. And I was like, but, I think as Americans, we all look for the exits when we go in a place. Mm-hmm. Like, what's our plan if something happened? How do we get out? And I mean, I hate to say that.
But yeah.
Here's this is my that makes you crazy. When I go to eat at lunch I don't do it when I'm with other people, but when I'm by myself, and it's just usually lunch because I like to have a sit-down lunch. So I usually go somewhere like Payway or Jason's Deli, somewhere where for lunch I go by myself, but I sit down inside by myself. And I always have to pick the bench that if you laid on it, you could fit your whole body. Just in case I get stuck there and I want to take a nap.
I was going to get comfortable.
What if someone came in and said, listen, we're not going to hurt any of you, but you can't leave for like 3 days. So where you're sitting is your spot for the next 3 days. And I need to make sure that I have the spot with the most leg room.
You're a tall girl. I mean, you need that leg room.
Not even kidding. I never even told them the whole story. I was going to tell them we got sidetracked.
Oh, gosh.
But it is a response versus react. I'm literally overthinking this situation. It's anxiety is what it boils down to. Mm-hmm. And so our anxiety tends to make us react instead of respond. Mm-hmm. And immediately we're in a whole different place. We're like in a whole different place.
Oh, yeah.
So like Zaylee, who deals with a lot of anxiety, will call me and be like, Mom, I have no reason to be anxious right now, but this is a situation. I'll be like, so there's nothing going on? Yes. There's nothing you need to be worried about? No, I don't. Okay, so let's think about the things that make you happy right now.
Yeah.
Like we just have to redirect.
Yeah. What can we change? What can we not change?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go from there.
But it is important to respond versus react, because if you have a relationship situation where you have to have a real conversation and you're reacting and not responding, that's where it's going to screw you over in a different way, because you need to be able to listen to them.
Yeah.
So like as somebody, I'm no longer in the management role, but I'm a parent, and it's a very similar situation. But as a manager for 25 plus years, what I would notice was when someone really needed to learn and they'd really struggled, the people that struggled the most, I found typically had the hardest time paying attention. So when you were trying to explain something to them, they were never listening.
It wasn't sinking in.
No, they were ready to respond.
Thinking about everything else, yeah.
They were thinking about their response, your first sentence in. So whatever your first sentence was had to be really good, because that's when they were checked out. Like it was over after that.
Fire, hot, don't touch.
Yeah, so they're reacting. No, even if they think they're responding, because for 3 minutes they're thinking while you're talking, but you are in fact reacting because you didn't actually listen. And you can't respond if you don't listen.
So true. You can only react.
You can only react to just the first sentence that you heard. So I think that we really have to think about what we're listening to as the other person explains it.
Yeah.
So, and I have ADHD myself, so it's a struggle. Yeah. And I talk too much, so it's a struggle. I get it.
You distract me. So I'm just like, what? What were we talking about?
I will take you in a circle.
I don't even know what the first sentence was anymore.
No. That way you don't react, you respond.
Yeah.
I'll make you think about everything. I had a listener, I should have put this on the last one, but it kind of has to do with this. I had a listener, I told you this story over lunch today, that messaged me and said, I'm listening to all the podcasts, and I don't understand why your youngest son is named Zoel and not your older, because my brother and I are so close, And so I was like, okay, so I respond. Not react. I respond to her in a full text conversation of the history of the names. It didn't send. It disappeared.
It went bye-bye.
I sent her own personal podcast. It was like a minute and a half podcast about why my family names are all.
I was like, now you're going to have to listen to me.
And then I started thinking, I was like, I didn't even put all this together so after the fact. But again, listening and not responding because I typed it all out and it was lost. And I was like, I don't want to explain all that again.
Same.
What are you going to do? Anyways, I just thought that was a good conversation piece because I think that there's the time and place for everything. And you took a good spin on it because I was really leaning toward you need to respond more than you need to react. But as a woman, you're right. We need to react more.
I mean,
I don't know if we helped at all.
We're back to square one.
Apologize. If you weren't confused, you are now.
You're welcome.
Oh, my God. This is seriously cabin talk right here. We need a girls' weekend if I've ever needed one.
Like, hold on. I need one of these.
Kelly, we didn't record either. ASMR. I would, my ASMR would be.
Yeah, like get your ice going.
Just the bottom of the drink. Sad day. Oh, okay. Anyways, thanks for joining us for our cabin talk. That's basically what just happened.
Yeah.
And we got some more fun things coming up. Okay, so we have a special guest today. A little surprise for everybody. We got Miss Aimee Newman Mack with us.
Woo-hoo!
Yay.
Thank you.
We don't do all the sound effects.
I guess we're bad at it.
On the other podcast. But we decided to have Aimee come in here and we're just shoot the shit, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Aimee and I have been doing a little thing where we're trying to find places that she has not eaten or been to in Ellis County, new adventures. And today I failed because I thought we didn't realize she had been to the place we went to.
We tried. So
it's okay.
Off the bucket.
It was great.
It was good, yeah. And we went to the College Street Pub, which we did talk about this before. I talked about the fact that you and I had lunch and went to the College Street Pub. And so Aimee said that she got to go back with friends and experience College Street Pub again.
So wait, who is the people that you took to College Street Pub that you said?
I went with people that go to. We were at the library. It was the last Thursday of every month. They have like a book program.
That's cool.
And so we read and go through and whatever.
And do they pick a book and then you have 1 month to read the book?
Mm-hmm.
So and what kind of books are they? Do you all mystery people?
No. It's always different. Like
that's fun.
The one this week, or the one that we got for starting on the 4th was the Berry Petal or something like that.
I know nothing about recent books, but I think that's cool because you don't get stuck in a genre.
No. And I ordered it, delivered. I got it Friday.
And then is it all women?
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were like men doing book clubs.
Oh, yeah, no. It's just chicks.
Yeah. And then y'all all went to the pub?
Mm-hmm. No, not all of us. No,
okay.
It was just 3 of us.
See, I need a life
where
I
cool
can
that
just.
You have made friends through that book club.
I mean, it's just one of the friends, Aimee. I hang out with her.
Yeah.
Like I talk to her. Like she's probably the closest friend that I have that I actually spend time and do things with. Mm-hmm. That's from Waxahachie, and she's all about like, oh yeah, hey, you need to go do this. We need to go do that.
Like I knew she'd been to Atkins Seafood because Aimee had taken her to Atkins Seafood.
That's cool. Well, we were sitting there trying to think of like, what's a place here that, we could take her to.
I know.
I was like a chain restaurant or
something
like
different. We were kind of going between them and I was like, well, help if I knew. I'm going to have to just make a list so we can plan ahead next time.
Have you been to Tomatoes? Mm-mm. Oh, see, we should have done Tomatoes today.
Yeah, next time.
Next time, Tomatoes. They're Mexican and Italian. Which is a weird combination, but it works.
Yeah, but it's awesome when you have a big family because we have gone there and we've all ordered like half of it. And then they'll be like, do you want bread or do you want chips? Yeah. And you have to decide. But sometimes, like, Rick and I will go with Madison, and Madison will get Mexican. I mean, she usually gets Italian with me, and he usually gets Mexican. So he'll get the chips and the hot sauce, and we're over there with marinara with bread. Marinara is extra.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 favorite types of food.
It's really good. It's a hole in the wall. Like, it's like an old, like, I want to say it used to be a gas station or a flower shop. I think it was a flower shop when I was a kid. Just a little bitty hole in the wall. But it's good food. Yeah.
We'll do that next time.
Yeah, next Italian route. That's what we have to do. But I was even trying to think good patio spots.
Yeah.
because this is patio weather.
Such a good day. I want to go. I was telling her, I was like, I want to be out by a pool right now. I was like, I know it's still too cold to get in the water because the water's going to be cold still.
Well, you know who has a pool?
I know.
She does.
She was like, she said, well, not if it's heated. I was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
How you're thinking. I like how you're thinking. That's funny. Are y'all still having the ducks? Mm-hmm. I didn't know if because of winter if they like leave.
They weren't around that much in December and January, but once the weather, because
it's time to come back.
The weather in February was 70.
Yeah. It's crazy.
A bunch.
Yeah.
Like way more than.
We usually have one good little ice storm end of January, beginning of February, and we didn't really get that this year.
No, we only had our one little freeze.
But they are saying that we had, I think it's going to probably happen in these first couple weeks in March.
It's going to totally ruin my birthday month.
It might snow.
I don't want snow. I want to be by a pool.
Well, you could have a heated pool in the snow. Hot tub.
Turn on your heat in your pool right now.
When you think about what our weather has been, it's like 87 in February.
Mm-hmm. It's insane.
I am not ready for it to be like 100 plus for 4 months.
Oh my
gosh. That's
that
true.
is like a reality. And I think that probably will happen is like we will be super
hot. Yeah, especially it's such a warm winter. I definitely think so.
Yeah.
Aimee and I were talking about in the car about the eclipse thing that's happening.
Yeah.
And what the plan is for the day, because Waxahachie is in direct line of what they call it, the shadow of the eclipse, right? Is that what they call our little section?
And they did the final say that they were closing down schools.
Yeah, they're closing all those schools for it.
Yeah, because the Boys and Girls Club was going to be closed too, because we were telling all the parents. I was like, that is so insane that it's going to be that big of a deal.
You have no idea. There's going to be multiple hundreds of thousands of people.
That's
here.
Crazy.
And so the traffic.
And it's probably going to be more than that because, you can't rent anything.
Yeah.
It's all been rented.
Yeah.
I thought about going down to the cabin for that weekend because it's on a Friday. I think it happens on a Friday.
No, it happens on
Is it a Monday? Okay.
It's a Monday.
Zoll has an appointment one of those 2 days. Like he had a doctor's appointment one day and then the other day was the eclipse. So I took off like a 4-day weekend. And I thought about, this would be great to go to the cabin. And I was like, no, because the cabin's also in the shadow. So the traffic getting there and back would make it not an enjoyable time.
That's true.
So
is it?
Do you think that even those
it
back
is.
roads
They're
are
all
gonna
selling
be
out
bad?
there too. Yeah, they're all selling out there.
That's weird.
Yeah, they've been advertising it there longer than I've been hearing about it here, quite honestly. And like all the Airbnbs are all taken there. People are renting out their like RVs in their backyards.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people. A lot of people are going out there, and I guess also because it's there's no artificial light, there's no nothing. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how much difference that makes in a solar eclipse, though.
How long does it last for?
Like 4.5 minutes.
The actual solid eclipse.
I know it's a
about,
lengthy thing, but for it all to be actually...
No, it's for the eclipse segment or whatever, like when it starts to go to cover.
Go over the sun.
It's going to be like an hour and... I don't know, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. It's over an hour.
Oh, do y'all know the difference between, and I don't, so I'm really asking this question. The difference between this one and the one that we had like 2 or 3 months ago where everything went pink outside?
No.
Remember, we had little half moons everywhere.
Yeah. But I totally missed that whole thing.
I don't think that was a full eclipse, and that's why we had little half moons.
You don't typically have, I don't think we've had a full eclipse like here. Since, I was under 10. So
wow. Well, and
over 40 years ago.
Well, they said that the next one isn't projected to be for another 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And the kids' school is also giving them all glasses.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. And I saw they're selling them at Velvet Angel, and the other day I saw them at a gas station. so these people are not dumb. They are capitalizing on it. Well, I need to go buy some solar eclipse glasses and start selling them.
Yep.
But yeah, they're popping up everywhere. So I did take the day off, but Rick is so he's a conspiracy theorist sometimes. And so he was like, I'm making Madison come home. She's not going to be alone for that. And I was like, what? Why? And now, because she goes to college 2 hours away. Yeah. I don't know. How long is it going to be dark? I mean, it's going to be pitch dark. I was like, no, it's not pitch dark. And it's only for a few minutes. He was like, oh, okay, maybe not. I was like, the world's not going to end during the 4.5 minutes or hour.
But people are crazy.
That is true.
Some people wait for things like this
to do stupid things,
act out and do things of violence because it's such a big deal and there's big crowds of people. So it's not necessarily crazy to be a little bit worried about safety during that time.
Yeah. Well, and my thought process on it, like taking off, was we deliver goods and I sell the goods and they get delivered. We can't deliver if we're in a lockdown of vehicles.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much they're going to be doing at work that day. I mean, what's it?
Because you have to go by everything that's around you that's being shut down.
You don't understand, though, like, just how many people will be here that aren't here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's going to be bad.
I mean, I think that the traffic is going to be terrible. And it's not just going to be... I mean, it'll definitely be terrible on Monday, but I think that leading up to Monday...
that whole weekend before.
I think that people... I think people are going to start coming in on
a few days before,
Thursday, Friday. And again, they're going to be out driving around, checking things out, going places and doing things. And it's going to be...
So I will be eating from home, at home.
The restaurants and grocery stores.
Forget that mess.
You got to have everything done so that, like, because I'm not leaving either. And it's like when I go out to look at it, it's like I'm walking in my backyard.
I'm staying at home.
Like hanging out. And it's like I'm looking up. Yeah. That's it.
You got to get your glasses so you can see it. Yeah.
Gotta get your glasses now.
Because I had a pair of glasses for the eclipse one that had the little half moons. Mm-hmm. And that was really cool. Like it was cooler than I thought it was going to be. It looked like my front yard looked like millions of half moons all over the place. It looked like a disco ball was above us.
Or you can just wear sunglasses and it's fine.
Isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know the difference either.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, maybe so.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to research this. Before we stare into the sun.
I mean, it's not going to...
Kelly's Googling right now.
Figuring this shit out.
I don't know. I wonder...
They're going to say that it's something else, but it's like, we looked at it, when I was a kid, we looked at it like without sunglasses. Yeah. I'm not blind.
No,
absolutely not.
What does it say?
We cannot stress enough how important it is to obtain a pair of safe certified solar eclipse glasses in order to witness the annual.
Look, Amy's like, no.
Sunglasses won't work in place of eclipse glasses or solar viewers, which are 100,000 times darker and held to an international safety standard.
And they cost $1 at Velvet Ain't. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how much they
Why are they going to be less than a pair of sunglasses?
How convenient that they're cheaper.
This could just be propaganda pushing an agenda.
Let's see who wrote it. It was probably like the sunglass maker.
Right.
Brought to you by solarglasses.com.
I mean, again, I think that it wasn't always that you needed something on your eyes.
Yeah.
Like that happened later. And I think that, I mean, again, if we're going to go with the whole conspiracy theory.
I knew that's where we were about to go.
I mean, I think that it's when you are not able to absorb any of the UV from the sun, like that is good for you. It's healthy for you, and it helps you to see things, and your body is healthy. And I think that then they switched it and they tried to, like you need to be wearing sunglasses and you need to be doing all these things, because then you aren't getting those vitamins and the things that you absorb.
So you think that they do not want us healthy?
They want to limit the
it's absolutely.
To the sun.
Allegedly. It's like going and getting, the food. It's like now they're saying that everything that we eat is like not really good for us. And it's like created.
Well, like remember when they said bacon was really bad for us, and then they came back and like bacon's good for you. And then there's a lot of things like that. They did.
I don't think they know what they're talking about.
The cycle just continually changes. So I don't know. And milk, remember they were pushing the milk? Mm-hmm. I mean.
And now I think that was like, I just saw a thing on that.
That it's not, that doesn't even help your bones.
I just saw a random thing that they've done something to quote unquote like milk. Yeah. So if it's like 2 ounces of milk, full milk, whatever, it used to only last for like 2 weeks. And now it's like there is no expiration date. And then when you go and you open it, even though you haven't opened it and maybe it's 40 days old and you pour it, it's not like, it's fine. It doesn't smell. It hasn't changed.
Well, that's not a good sign.
That's weird.
No, absolutely not.
Well, it's just like eggs. If you don't refrigerate them, if you leave eggs, like if you take it directly from a chicken and you leave the stuff that's on it, which looks like poop and some of it is poop and that stuff, but if you leave that on it, you don't need to refrigerate it and it will stay good for like a month.
Oh, or longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
But the moment you wash it, you have to refrigerate it.
Yeah, but the reason that the eggs that you buy from the grocery store, it's like that stuff has been, I mean, obviously it's been treated and the egg,
right.
Whatever,
so they have to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Definitely. But we get fresh eggs and we also buy eggs because we go through a lot of eggs. And so if I'm getting fresh ones, I don't even stick them in the refrigerator. I just have eggs on the counter. And every time Zaylee or Zoel's friends come over, they're like, why are there just eggs on the counter?
Oh no, we have our eggs.
Let me educate you.
On the counter also.
Yeah.
And butter too. I leave my butter out and everyone thinks that's crazy. But you're supposed to leave your butter out. Mm-hmm. So it'll be soft.
Yeah.
It's meant to be out. I don't know. These are our helpful hints from Gen Xers over here. We were going to do some rapid fire questions too today.
Yes.
Kelly, what do you have for rapid
I have
fire?
a couple of fun questions. The first one I have is, what have you done for yourself recently? So what good mental health thing have you done for yourself? The most recent one that you can think about.
You go first.
Why do I have to go first?
Okay. I don't know. I just want to give you a chance because I'm not Al. I'm letting you have all you want. What do I do for mental health? I don't know if this counts as mental health, but I go get a pedicure.
That definitely counts as mental health. It's treating yourself, pampering yourself, doing something.
And I get the best pedicure, and they get very excited when I go in there because I don't even have to order anymore. They know. They just bring me the 2 options I have of that particular one. I was like, one is rose and one is gold, I think is what it is. Which one do you want? I was like, you're the one smelling it. You're the one at my feet. So you pick whichever one you want.
They're thinking, cha-ching.
That's what I do for myself. What do you have? What you got?
That I do? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm kind of limited, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like I really haven't been driving. I haven't been allowed to drive. And my husband doesn't want me out.
Running around.
Doing anything.
What about the house? Do you have something you do at the house?
I mean, I'm at the house.
I would be laying in the pool,
I'm there
the hot
every
tub.
day. I mean, I'm outside a lot.
Are you?
A lot.
Well, that's good. And your book club, that's a good
Oh,
thing
yeah, your
too.
book club is a good
but
one
that's
for mental health.
1 day a week. Or
Yeah,
one
a
day,
month.
not even, not a,
That's
yeah,
better
at the end of the month.
That's like Zaylee, going and volunteering at the library. It has given her a social, it's helping her socially. She loves it. She thought she was going to go 1 or 2 days a week for 3 hours. She's been going every day because she's met people and it gives her something to do and she wants to visit and talk to people. So she's been having fun with it. Yeah. You got one, Kelly? What do you do?
Well, mine has been here lately is just my getting tattoos. And so that's my therapy time. And so I got, it's my birthday month. So I've already gotten, I got a new piercing. I got the other side of my nose pierced because I've been wanting to get this side pierced for a long time. So I finally got that done, which I'm happy. I got another tattoo. I got a little traditional, you can't see it because it has the bandage on it still.
Yeah, I can't see
But I got a little traditional B. I had patients do that. She did that too. Because I went in to get my nose pierced.
Yeah.
Because I figured out that she does piercings too. And I was like, what? I didn't know that. And so I was like, I want to come get my nose pierced by you. So we did that. And then while I was there, she was free. So I was like, want to do another tattoo?
Oh, my Lord. Kelly's getting a tattoo a month for the year.
Yeah. Oh, well, and last month
tattoos.
Last month I got 2. And so this month I already have 1. And I have another one scheduled that I'm getting.
Okay, we're not doing the amount of tattoos per month. She toyed. It came up for January. She get 1 for February, 2 for March 3. I was like, no, you're out of control. And she's just trying to fill the space on her sleeves. So trying to get there.
And then I got my nails done for my birthday month too. So I got them done yesterday, and I love them. So that's what I did for myself.
That's good.
Okay, next question is, what is your ideal weekend getaway?
A cabin.
Oh,
I'm boring.
We already knew you.
Sorry. Or the river. I love to go to. I love to go to Comel. I would like to go to the Comel, a different river. I like different rivers. You can pick one.
That's nice.
I just want to float. I just want to be in the water and float. I can be with Rick or I can be with y'all. I don't care. I just take one of my favorite people, a few of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the kids. I love them, and they're my favorite people, too. They make the river time not relaxing. They stress me out. They complain. The river's not pushing fast enough. It's pushing too fast. Yeah. That is not relaxing.
One of my favorite getaways, I love mountains or canyons. I love hiking and things. I've gone to Colorado a few times and I really like that. So that's a really fun getaway. And I've also been to Powder Canyon. That's here in Texas. There's a lot of really cool places
Big Bend
in Texas. That Texas is so big. There's a lot of fun things that you can do in Texas. So I really like that. I like any kind of big land things like that. My other favorite obviously is water. So I like going to the beach or to a lake or a river. But I really like mountains and canyons.
I want to be outdoors too. That's my first pick. I don't think that Aimee feels that same way. What would you do? What's your favorite getaway? If you're gonna have a weekend getaway.
I mean, I'm leaving the United States.
Where y'all going?
I mean, I don't know.
Anywhere.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Take me away.
I don't really have a weekend getaway money for out of the country. Well, and Rick, I have a hard time getting him out of Ellis County.
What?
Yes. He doesn't like to leave Ellis County. I can get him to San Saba, and that's even sometimes, if it's not a hunting, if he can't possibly kill something, that's difficult.
What?
I'm not kidding. And we're going to go to
Mexico is like
he won't go to Mexico.
There.
He will not go to Mexico.
I want to go to Mexico. I've never been.
I've been to Mexico. It's great.
You've never been?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I really want to go.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
That is insane. I have been there so many times. It is.
Kelly doesn't like to fly.
Yeah,
you really got to fly.
I don't like going places by myself either. And that's another thing. I've never had somebody that I would go and travel with. So, and I'm not going to go alone. So.
No, not to Mexico.
You don't have friends?
I mean, I do, but most of my boyfriend works too much. We haven't even had a time to have we've been together for 5 years.
They've never gone
I have
for the
been
weekend.
wanting to do a getaway for an anniversary, and we have never been able to because he works so much. And if he's not working, he has his kids. And so it's one of these days we'll get to do it, but we haven't been able to. And I've never had somebody that would be like, yeah, I'll go to Mexico with you. It's never happened. So
I have gotten Rick, we've snow skied. I got him to go snow skiing. That was a big deal. I've gotten him he had never been to the river till he met me. He had never been floating the river. Well, I take that back. He had been as a kid with his family. He had never been with friends as an adult. And he loved that. And then we do a lot of stuff on the boat and the kayaks. But today I swear he was pouting because it's so beautiful outside. And I think I talked about the fire. I think I talked on the podcast about how he lost his saddles in a fire at his mom's house. He was storing his saddles there. Yeah. And his boat was damaged and it looks like it's totaled out. So we're now in fishing season and he can't use his boat. Yeah. And he can't ride his horses because he doesn't have a saddle. He's been trying to find a saddle, but it takes a while to find a good saddle. So he this morning is like, I have nothing to do. He can't just sit still. He was like, I got to find something to do. He looked sad. I was like, call a friend, get someone to take you fishing. I'm not going to do that. And then 30 minutes later, he's changing into swim trunks. I'm going to go fishing with his friend.
That's good. Yeah. See, he's having a mental health day.
Yeah, I was like, good. Please go fishing. You'll be in a good mood. I fear I'm going to be eating way more fish again, but we get a lot of fish.
I mean, don't you need a break? From what you've been eating a ton of?
Well, I've been eating a ton of fish too because we still have plenty of fish. But yes, venison, I need a break. I need a break. Zoe the other day, this boy that she's been dating, he dropped her off and she said, he really liked your venison. She didn't even know it was venison. He really liked your steak fingers. I said, you gave your date steak fingers? She goes, well, I didn't want her to leave empty-handed, so I ran in the house and got him some steak fingers.
Oh, my
I said, were you drinking? She goes, yes, but I wasn't drunk. I just really wanted him to taste your steak fingers. And so he took them to lunch the next day, and he loved them. They were delicious. I said, well, did he know they were venison? She goes, I didn't know they were venison. And I was like, oh, yeah, y'all just ate venison steak fingers.
I can't even tell you the last time I've had venison. It's been over a decade, probably.
Twice a week, like clockwork in my house. Lots of venison, lots of venison. I'm like, oh, my Lord. And fish. I mean, yeah, it's a lot. I'm like, can we get some chicken up in this bitch? I don't know why that's so hard.
I love chicken.
But if we don't take the venison out to defrost that morning, then I have to come up with another meat. And it is conveniently sometimes forgotten because I might just want regular tacos. So I do sometimes forget to leave it out. I know, but I don't mind it though. The fillets are awesome. I don't mind it in general. I just don't want it every night. I do make it. We have a very good processor, and I do make it where it's not gamey tasting. I can make it where it's. Most people don't know that what I'm feeding them is venison, and that's the way it should be. You should think it's beef.
Yeah,
that's when you know it's good venison.
Yeah, true.
Anyways, that's enough of my venison talk. You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Okay. Next one would be, who's the first person that you call when you need advice?
Depends on what the advice is about.
Okay, so let's just say that you are having a hard day or something. Who are you going to call first? If you're just needing to vent or needing to, just...
You or Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, you or Mary. You and I don't vent on the phone, though. It's really I just see you.
I very rarely vent on the phone. And honestly, if I'm ever calling somebody because I'm like, I have to call somebody, it's my mom.
Yeah.
And I don't really call her very often, but when I do, it's because I really need to just
we do it more
talk
in person.
To somebody on the phone. And then
it's like her and I, we do it in person before and after we record the podcast.
Yeah. Most of the time she doesn't even know that anything's wrong, but just simply having the conversation is like grounding. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay now. So
yeah, I don't know. That's I'm more of an in-person venter. But like the other day, whenever I had a friend pass away the other day, and you're friends with her as well, and I didn't know who to tell. Like I needed to tell somebody, and so I just texted you and Mary separately, and I was like, I don't want to talk. I literally said, I don't want to talk, but I had to tell you that I'm very sad.
Yep.
Like that's all I could do.
I just need you to know that I'm sad and be thinking about me.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. Yeah,
I said okay, and that. I think that's really all I said. Is like, I said, because you're like, send good vibes my way. I was like, they're coming your way. And that's all I said. And then I was just thinking about you. Because that's how I send good vibes is I just think about that person. And I think about what are they going, can I try to put myself in their shoes and think about how they're feeling right now?
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like take deep breaths and act like I'm you and like I'm calming your body down.
Well, I don't always, when I'm at my most upset, I don't want to talk I don't want to talk. Believe it or not, I don't want to talk. But I do want my close people to know I'm upset. Because I know they're going to see it and they're going to worry about me. So it's like, hey, just so you know, heads up. Like I knew you were going to find out. I knew you were going to be upset for me. I better tell her first, but please don't call me. And I appreciate the fact that you did not call me. And even like Rick, he's the one that actually told me. He saw it before I did. And he said, he told me, he thought I knew. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh my God. And I was like, what? And I got upset. And I went to go hide, basically, from my family and gather myself. And Zaylee, who, bless her heart, just loves me to death, and she was in the room when I found out. So she saw my face and saw what happened. Following behind me. I was like, Zaylee, please don't follow me. I love you so much, but I do not want to sit here and take care of you right now. Like I need to take care of me, and I don't want you to take care of me. I want to take care of me. So I just skedaddled across the house and hid from everybody. Yeah, so I guess that's what I do. I don't call anybody. I apparently just hide. What do you do?
Yeah. Do you call people, Amy?
When you want to vent?
Do you call anybody? You have anybody?
She vents to me. That's what we would do before and after the podcast.
If I see some, it's like I have relationships with some people that, again, it's like I'm not from here. So I don't know that many people. It's like there's like 3 people that I spend time with, not including my husband. And it's like I don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. And especially right now, like since my injury, it's like I'm not out and about doing anything, and I'm not allowed to drive. I mean, I just started driving here like 2 weeks ago, and I can only be here in Waxahachie, and I have to text like where it's like I can't. It's not like I'm gone for 8 hours. It's like I can go to get HEB and go home, go to the grocery store or go somewhere else. I mean, it's like I'm not out and about.
And you're not really a phone venter either. I think you're more an in-person like I am.
You know,
when you want to talk in person.
I mean, if I'm talking to somebody about something, it's probably going to be my sponsor.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably going to be like, I don't want to do anything that I'm not supposed to do. And I'm super close to her. It's not like I might know a lot of people, but I'm not having those kinds of conversations with.
Yeah. I think everybody handles things differently too. Depends on what the situation is. If it's about the kids, I might call their dad. And I'm not close to their dad anymore, but that's my kid's dad. So I would call and vent to him about the kids.
Right.
And we're not even friendly. I mean, we are now, but when I got upset the other night over the whole thing with Christy passing, Zaylee called her dad. She saw me so upset she didn't know what to do. So she called her dad and she told her dad. And her dad called me the next day at work. I'm very sorry about your friend and da-da-da-da.
That's nice.
It was very nice, but I was like, thank you very much. I'm at work and I'm really trying not to cry, but I do appreciate it. But it was nice, yeah. We've come a long way in the last 16 years. He's like he's alive. No. I mean, he is, but. All right, what's our next question? What we got?
All right, last one. It would be, would you rather have limited time with unlimited resources or limited resources and unlimited time?
Okay, say it again.
Would you rather have limited time, means not a long time in your life, but with unlimited resources, means you have money, anything that you need, or would you rather have limited resources, not that much things, not that much money, and unlimited time?
Unlimited time. Yeah, unlimited time. Unless you were just in hellacious, horrible situation. Like, are you talking worst case scenario? You're a slave?
No.
But it just in general, you're poor? Yeah, no, I'm cool. I've been poor, I've been rich. Poor sucks, but it's not that bad. I mean, you can live through it. I'd rather live longer and enjoy my kids' lives.
Yeah.
Know my grandkids, if I ever have them. I might want a third husband at some point. You guys got to be time. I'm kidding.
I need some time for that.
I'm just kidding. I'd rather have time.
Yeah, I think that I would too. I think about it in the back of my head, and I was like, it would be interesting to be able to see all the things that you want to see, like, because it's so hard to see all the world as it is now, even if you do have unlimited resources. It's such a big planet, but it would be cool to be able to do something like that, to be able to have unlimited resources, go anywhere you want at any time and see anything you want to see. Yeah. That's cool to me. And I don't have kids. So I'm not thinking of it as like, I want to be around for my kids. I don't have any kids. Yeah. So I kind of would want to go with the limited time to see all the things that I want to see and have unlimited, just anything at my fingertips.
But do you know it's unlimited the whole time? I mean, do you know that you're...
Yeah, I mean, you're not
going to live long?
Like you have 10 years, starting today, you have only 10 years left, but you can have any amount of money, anything that you need to do anything you want to do. Or it's like you can starting now, you can decide when you want to die, but you don't have anything.
Interesting. Were you high when you came up with this question? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I was. All right, what is your
oh man, what do you think? What do you think?
I don't know.
You absolutely.
Unlimited time.
I would guess that, but then she started, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of a mind fuck in that way. Not for me. I want unlimited time. Man. Definitely unlimited time.
See, me, I love my life.
Your response is what Mary would say too.
But I don't have anything that's keeping me here. I mean, I love my family. I love my life. But I don't feel limited to this life though.
Which is ironic because you're not materialistic at all.
And that's another reason why
it's more about traveling and experiences.
I would just enjoy that time like I am now. Like, I don't know that I'd have 10 more years anyways. Yeah. So if I know that that's promised to me and I can really just decide everything.
It's like that country song.
Yeah.
What is that country
Because if
song?
I decided, it didn't have any choice at all, and I don't even know, I only have 3 more years left.
Yeah.
But if I knew, it's promised, this is the time that you have, and I don't have kids, I don't have anything like that, so I would think, okay, I just want to do everything that I want to do in that time because I don't feel limited to this life.
That's what there's a country song, I know you don't know the country song. Who is it? Tim McGraw, I think. And they say the song is like a storytelling song, and he makes a friend, I think at a bar, and it's an old man that's gonna die. He's got terminal cancer, and he's gonna die. And he goes, well, do you regret your life or whatever? He goes, no. Or sad you found out or something like that. And he goes, no. I went skydiving. I went Rocky Mountain climbing. He did all these things. He made the absolute most of the time once he realized he had very little time left. So I could see that. But that's different whenever you're like, well, I'm not given a choice, but here I can. Unfortunately, most people that know it's coming also are in pain.
Yeah.
So they don't get to do all the fun, cool shit, And
that's why.
That's a good question.
Thanks.
I'm sure some people.
I was just thinking about it.
There's a really big wedding that, have you heard about this wedding? Because you and I are TikTok buddies, and it's been all over my TikTok. I've ended up on its end of the TikTok. There's a really big wedding this weekend. It started, I think, yesterday. Might have been the day before yesterday. But and it's in Saudi Arabia or something like that. And it's in another Qatar, I don't know. And Qatar, however you say that. Anyways, it's one of the richest men in the world. He has billions of dollars. They have spent $600 million on this wedding, and they said it was less than 0.1% of their income for the year. This man has stupid money. And they have a bunch of children, him and his wife, and their youngest son is getting married, and they are paying Rihanna. They paid her. She performed last night. They paid her to perform at the wedding because each day is a different event. $6 million just for Rihanna to perform. That's just Rihanna's. That's just to pay for that part. And all these famous politicians and all these famous movie stars and from all over the globe, all over, are all coming to the wedding. And so I'm thinking, what are these, you want to see what the bride and groom look like. I don't know who these people are. So I go and I look up the picture, and the bride is stunning, absolutely stunning. And the guy is, a larger man, a much larger man, and just kind of goofy is the word. He looks like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, kind of. And he's next to this woman that is just a show-stopping beauty. And he obviously is worth billions and billions, whatever.
Obviously.
But then, as I'm going down the rabbit hole, I found a clip of him talking, and he's so freaking likable. He's just endearing and kind, and he's talking about his mom. And then in another clip I saw, he's talking about his fiance, and then another one he's talking about his sister. And every one of them, he's just this awesome guy. And I thought, well, I did not see that coming. That's what I get for judging a book by its cover.
That's true.
So lesson learned on my part. But y'all should look up this wedding stuff. I would tell you what the name of it is, but I can't pronounce any of the names or any of that kind of stuff, so why butcher it? But
just look up big wedding this
type
weekend.
in Rihanna performing wedding, and you will see. They had a red carpet event where all the famous people showed up to the wedding, and not even the ceremony. This is just one of the events leading up. There's concerts. They have all kinds of famous people performing.
Wow.
I can't. That's somebody though that would pick 10 years. That's probably something some people would want to do. They would rather live 10 years of that. And I think a lot of famous people are that way. They'd rather have 10 famous years than a lifetime of no one knowing who they are.
Yeah.
I'm cool with no one knowing who I am.
Well, see, that's not what I'm thinking about when I think.
No,
about
you're just thinking
that.
having the freedom to not worry about paying a bill and.
Well, not even that.
Stuff.
I would literally just start going. I would get my own plane and I would just start hopping to different places. I want to see everything. I want to see all the mountains and all the cool stuff, and I want to go to Egypt, and I want to go to Ireland, that. That's what I would do. I would not care about being famous or doing all this extravagant things. I would just want that unlimited resources to be able to see as much as I can.
Well, they're going to be exhausted. Can you imagine a 4-day wedding of nonstop?
I can't imagine a 1-day wedding. I'm not going to.
Can you imagine now 4 days? Those poor bride and groom were going to die of exhaustion by the time it's over. I mean, your wedding, that wore you out. That wasn't even a big.
Yeah, but it's
the planning and all the.
Man, It was just that's just not my thing.
Yeah, same.
Either.
Same.
I mean, I don't want it to sound like. I mean, I didn't. My wedding was not something ridiculous. I mean, it was
perfect.
I mean, it was in someone's backyard, not mine. It was short, sweet. Was a little uncomfortable with the whole rainstorm that happened.
I liked it though.
In the afternoon right before it, but I don't know.
Well, that's like Rick and I've talked. We'll probably just elope, just the two of us, nobody else.
I just like doing things. I just think it's better when there's not like a lot of stress.
Yes. And that's why we'll be eloping.
Like a lot of people.
Yes.
There's stress.
Yeah.
You gotta help and do and
make sure everything is right and nobody shows up acting a fool.
Do it yourself or hire people to do it.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, we don't want to do any of that. We don't want to do any of that. All right, that's all of our rapid fire questions.
Yep.
All right, Aimee, anything you want to say before we are done with today?
No, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us, just shooting the shit.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And lunch and such. And we'll continue our Aimee tour of Waxahachie or Ellis County. We'll leave Waxahachie. We'll do some Ellis County things.
Yeah.
I'm working on a farm. I'm working on my friend Megan's farm. We're gonna get to the farm. We're gonna pet a goat.
All right.
He jumps on the bed with a diaper goat. That's a different story.
Fantastic.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.